What's going on, guys? It's Cameron from Westin Automotive and Super Winch. Today I'm here to install our brand new EXP topper on this 2022 Tacoma behind me. So this is going to be part number 16-11065. And as you can see, this is the way it's going to arrive to you. So when you order this, it's going to arrive to you on the pallet in 2 boxes. So let's go ahead and lay this down, open it up, and see what's inside. All right, everybody, so now that we've gotten the boxes broken down, you can see that this topper is basically 5 main pieces. You've got your 2 sides, your 2 windows, and your top, and there's also going to be 3 boxes of hardware and brackets that are also in this box. What you can do is either use a large moving blanket to go ahead and assemble this to protect it from damage. If you don't have something like that, you can go ahead and just use the box that the main roof came in, break that down, use that with the cardboard and foam, and that'll give you a good protective layer. All right, guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and touch on what's in your installation kit boxes. So in box 1, you're going to go ahead and get all of your end caps and all of your installation hardware, along with your keys and your LED light. In box 2, you're going to get all of your clamps to install the bed cap. And in box 3, you're going to go ahead and get your rear window channels, your weather stripping, and all the hardware to install your rear window channels. So that's all that's in your hardware boxes, so now we can go ahead and start installing the actual topper. All right, guys, so the first step in getting this assembled is you're going to go ahead and take your rear window and get that slid into the rear channel here. It just takes a little bit of work, and then you go ahead and get that slid in. And then you're going to use your 3 panhead tapping screws to go ahead and lock the rear window into the channel. After you've done that, you're going to go ahead and take your rubber grommets that goes on each end and install those. All right, guys, so now that we've gone ahead and got the rear window installed, one key to help you get this installed is go ahead and put a nice heavy box behind the rear window. It helps you to assemble the topper to keep the rear window up as much as possible while you're sliding in the sides. So let's go ahead and get the side slid in, and we'll go ahead and get that attached. All right, guys, so one thing you want to make sure of when you're assembling this topper is that you actually get the sides lined up evenly with the channels. Once you get those lined up evenly with the channels, they will slide right in. So the last step in getting this pretty much assembled before you're going to start bolting everything together is going to be to install the rear window. So one tip to get this installed correctly is you're going to want to make sure that the glass lines up with every channel in the rear, and then go ahead and use a rubber mallet to go ahead and tap it in. All right, guys, so now that we've got the sides and all the windows installed, we're now going to go ahead and start doing the brackets. So for the rear glass, the bracket is actually going to be stepped down. As you can tell, it's got a up step to the side part, and then it's got a down step for the glass. On the truck bed side, you're going to be using a hex head bolt, and on the glass side, you're going to be using your Allen bolt. All right, so the next step to getting this assembled is you're going to want to attach all your electrical connectors. There's a connector in the front and the rear of the topper, as you can see here. Just go ahead and match up red to red and black to black, and plug them in together. After that, there's going to be 2 pieces of hardware on each corner of the topper, so that makes for 8 total. As you can see, there's one here. You install your other one next to it. Like I said, go ahead and repeat that for all 4 corners. All right, so one of the final steps to get this topper assembled is we need to slide in our rear window channels. So the same with doing the sides and the rear glass and the front glass, you want to make sure that your channel is aligned with your slot, and then go ahead and slide it down. Just like that. Once you have that installed, then you can go ahead and use your set screws and your hardware to get it finally installed. Right, so one of the things you want to watch out for while you're installing your rear window channels is actually going to be this rubber grommet down here. This is one of the rubber grommets that we installed while we were doing the rear fold-down window. You just want to make sure when you slide the rear window channel into it that you move this grommet over to make sure that it doesn't pinch it. Just like that. All right, so once you got your rear window channel slid in, you can again go ahead and use your Phillips screwdriver and your set screws to go ahead and get it set into place. All right, so once we've got our set screws in place, then we can go ahead and use our hardware to actually attach the rear window channels to the topper. As you can see, there's going to be 2 holes in each bracket, and we're going to go ahead and repeat that for the other side. All right, guys, so now we've got the topper completely assembled, but there is a couple things that we're going to need to modify in the vehicle before we actually install the topper on the truck. So as you can see, we've got our rear factory crossbar here. This is going to have to be removed. It's got 5 pieces of hardware that attach it. Go ahead and remove those, and then you're going to get your factory, these foam pieces that are actually going to attach to the factory crossbar, and that's going to close up the gaps on either side. All right, so once you get the hardware removed, you can go ahead and remove the crossbar, take the foam pieces that are included with your kit, and go ahead and stick them to the end, and then reinstall your crossbar. Now it's almost time to finally install the topper. There's just a couple more steps that we need to cover. So once you install the topper, you're going to have a hard time accessing your rear window, so you want to make sure that you clean this as thoroughly as you can before you install the topper. Also, then you're going to want to install your gaskets on your bed rails. To do that, you want to make sure you clean these all off with either alcohol or some kind of degreaser and make sure you get it all dry. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and lay out your weather stripping, and you want to follow the outside edge of your bed rail to get this installed right. So now that we've done all the final steps to go ahead and get the topper installed, it's now time to put it on the vehicle. So now the times where if you have a couple friends, go ahead and get about 2 or 3 buddies to come over and give you a hand, only because it's a little bit awkward to get on the vehicle once it's fully installed. One thing I want to note is when you do go to place it on the vehicle, don't drag the topper over the vehicle, only because that's going to go ahead and damage your weather stripping that you just installed. So do your best to go ahead and carry it over and place it on the vehicle. So let's get to it. All right, so now that we've gone ahead and gotten the topper on the vehicle, we can now go ahead and use the clamps that are included with the kit to go ahead and install it. They're going to be marked front, middle, and rear. Rear is going to be closest to the tailgate, middle is of course the middle, and then front is going to go closest to the cab. So go ahead, if you do have the factory tie downs in your bed rails, it might be easier to go ahead and remove these before you put on the clamps. Once you have the clamps on, then you can go ahead and reinstall your factory tie downs. As you go to tighten these, you're just going to want to go ahead and tighten these down snug. You don't want to over tighten them. As they are aluminum, you can distort the clamps. Okay, so one final piece of advice that I wanted to give you when you're installing these clamps onto your bed is that as you go down further towards the front of the cab, you might not be using all 3 teeth that are included on this clamp. You might be getting only 2 teeth of engagement, as I said, once you get towards the front of the cab, and that's absolutely fine. What you don't want is only 1 tooth of engagement on the bed rail. You need to have at least 2. Another key point on this is you don't want to loosen this bolt all the way out. You just need to loosen the bolt enough to go ahead and get this clamp to slide into your bed rail. Once that's in, then you can go ahead and tighten this down to make your final adjustments. So now that we've gone ahead and got all the bed clamps attached and adjusted, now we can go ahead and attach the struts for our rear window to the brackets here. Once we get that done, then we can go ahead and lower the rear window and adjust our latches here. As you can see, these are very loose. So what you're going to want to do is leave them loose like this, lower your rear window, then get inside the topper and go ahead and adjust these, lock them down, and then everything will fit just right. All right, guys, so now that we've went ahead and got our struts attached and our latches adjusted, our installation is pretty much almost complete. There's only a couple more things that we need to install, and that's going to be these corner caps. So these corner caps are going to go on every corner of the topper, and there's double-sided tape. You're going to want to remove the backing, stick them on here like so, and then you're going to want to head and install them from the inside with the hardware that's provided with your kit. The last thing we want to do before we go ahead and close the tailgate is you're going to want to trim this molding piece right here. We do give you a little bit of extra molding between variances from bed to bed. Once you go ahead and trim that flush, then you won't have any interference with your tailgate or your bed cap. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up the installation video of this EXP topper on this 2022 Tacoma. Stay tuned for more videos that are going to be going more in depth on how to actually get this thing wired up. So with all that being said, for any more questions or any more information, go ahead and visit westinautomotive.com.